41 p.m. This is the facilitating venue of, again, where you see the fake sun over my head and the engineered light that's covering the property, and then you are understanding the context of what the people of the state are doing, which are engaging in demonic pacing. They're pacing all around, engaging in surveillance as an entity on behalf of the state that is engaging in criminal surveillance in the state of California. So I'm documenting right now. What you see is Title 18 criminal conduct. The demon possessed are engaged in methods of amplification. Now I'm on the fourth floor. You have what is the use of the sound of stomping, booming. I guess you've got an obese person. This is always the case, even when I'm on the third floor of the apartment building in Alvarado Gardens, as though someone is stomping on the. I'm at the top of the apartment building. It's demonic. It's called audible activity. It's while the entity is engaged in surveillance. Not only is this documentation and the prosecution civilly of third-party town place suites. They're a facilitator. I'm going to drain their pockets while they are facilitating this criminal act, which is also sexually violent, and engaged in federal stalking with all of the demons that are customers on surveillance cameras, which is my documentation regarding the criminal conduct that they are all engaging in with the state on the surveillance cameras of Town Place Suites by Marriott at 102 West Huntington Drive in Monrovia, California. It's also relevant to what is the Title 18 criminal conduct that the demon possessed are monitoring to. These are demons as I go from screen to screen. All right, the demons are stalking with methods of audible activity, and that's exactly what's occurring now as you see me scroll. The loud sounding of a boom is heard in my heard in my hotel room. That's called terrorism by audible activity. The demon possessed are engaged in terrorism by light activity. The demon possessed are engaged in terrorism while they pace all around you. The demon possessed engage in terrorism while they stalk in helicopters and stalk with audible activity. I also want to make sure while I'm documenting this is documentation. LADWP is the state actor. They're a documented group stalker. I'm documenting the demon possessed in their LADWP Los Angeles vehicles. Fake sun molesting me with engineer light while I'm driving on my car on Glendale Boulevard in Los Angeles, where there's no sun over Town Place Suites by Marriott, which is also indicative. LADWP is a group stalker, and this is, again, the surveillance that's online with regard to Title 18 criminal conduct, which is relevant to the ways in which I'm going to recover from the state. I'm going to recover from Town Place specifically, but I also took pictures of everybody that's in relevant position. Let me be clear. In relevant position, not only are the employees here group stalking, using their presence, engaging in surveillance in a hallway while working at a crime scene. That's what this is. The knocks at the door, the maintenance of presence in relevant position while knowledge of what you're doing as you're doing it, including online. This is Perkins Associates, CPA. They're in relevant position. I'm going to prosecute them as well. They're engaged in a sex offense. RBJ Software, they're in relevant position. They're group stalking. They're monitoring. In addition, Citizens Business Bank, they're in relevant position. They're surrounding, they're group stalking with the population that's pacing all around me on the streets and on the roads, filling the hotel rooms inside of this hotel where demonic methods of the elements of monitoring are maintained while a sex offense and federal stalking on the internet is underway. And it also remains relevant that the entity is in doing so while my private information is public. You're going to recover for such damages. Okay, the unfathomable levels of violation of privacy, the unfathomable levels of sexual violence. You're not just one sex offender, it's a population of sex offenders that are surveilling you online, that are watching you disrobe in whatever private space that you are, that are monitoring to your to the engagement in a private activity while your panties are down, your genitalia is exposed. Demons are stalking with methods of audible activity creation, and they do that as a population. Okay, this is the demon possession. This is the product of demon possession, which has you have people, a population that have a spirit of a sex offender. They have spirit of stalkers. They have spirits of psychopaths who are targeting you and don't want to be seen outwardly as a predator, but that's exactly what they are, which is the purpose of the P.O.C. to show you, don't be fooled by Satan. There's the fake sun. There's the engineer light. There's the demon stalking in a helicopter. There's the demon stalking, engaging in the elements of monitoring, using emergency vehicles, lights and audible activity, sirens, criminal summoning. There's the demons that are engaging in the elements of monitoring with simultaneity to what I do in that specific environment. And they're doing it while I'm online. LADWP is also a documented terrorist. They're group stalking. I'm being molested with engineer light while I'm documenting the license plates of LADWP drivers in relevant positions. So I want to document this. I'm going to prosecute the state, and very easy to target the entity that's targeting me. I'm going to target them with regard to the ways that you'll be prosecuted, but also the ways that I will recover civilly based on the unfathomable and never before contemplated levels of violation by a government. And this is the massive invasion of privacy in violation of existing federal laws while I'm online talking to Spectrum, who's harassing me on the phone while they're engaged in Title 18 criminal conduct, monitoring me while the audible activity through the conversation is serving to threaten my life and monitoring, with the demons that are pacing all around in relevant position in the surrounding venues in this hotel building, and all are on multiple methods of surveillance cameras. This is all documentation. This is all evidence that belongs to me when I prosecute the state of California. The entity that is engaged in group stalking is already surrounded with evidence, and they're surrounding with the means whereby I will accumulate evidence to identify every single last one of them and all the multiple ways in which I will recover. Okay, so the entity is doing so as one, and you have demons that are stalking with methods of audible activity. You have what is an unpleasant and uncharacteristically disturbing stay at a hotel, where ordinarily what you would know, you're paying for hotel rooms, you're paying a pretty penny, and you're not going to be bombarded with the loud sound of booming music, and you can hear the traffic, and somebody that's walking outside in the hallway, you can hear them boom. Somehow that's heard inside of your hotel room, and now all of a sudden inside of your hotel room, when someone is walking apparently above you, that's disturbing you. That's not the normal audible activity inside of a hotel room. These are demons, and it is the specific environment. I'm just giving you context. This is uncharacteristic of the hotel stay. The reason why it's so disruptive, the reason why it's so loud, and it's also occurring with regard to the rhythm of what I'm doing, including online, the demon possessed are tuning into what I do, and I'm going to recover for that. And while the entity does that, demons that are staying at the hotel, they're acting with Josh Hamilton, the general manager of Town Place Suites. I documented the entity group stalking in the environment today, and so I took a screenshot of that. This is just relevant to the prosecution. There's a podcast that's documented the entity filled with third parties, the parking lot, that are engaged in criminal conduct, not engaged in any lawful conduct. You don't have a right to stay at a hotel to maintain criminal presence in relevant position and engage in federal stalking on the venue of the internet with communication devices where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. This is the system state surveillance, and this is understanding the criminalization of what a government seeks to do surreptitiously. And you're understanding it's all criminal. So they're abusing constitutional rights. They're masquerading as though you have privacy rights. They're masquerading as though they're free citizens, and they're not. They're actually violating your freedom and without your knowledge and consent. And they want to appear as though they're in a substantially similar position as you. And I'm referencing the demon-possessed people of the state. All right, and the government on its face has no lawful grounds for criminal surveillance or group stalking. There is no constitutional basis for engaging in surveillance with the constituents of the state. Okay, so I just want to document that this invasion of privacy in Townhome Place in particular is going to be prosecuted civilly and criminally, and everybody's on surveillance cameras. There's traffic cameras. There are multiple ways which the entity has not yet contemplated, and this is relevant position. The entity is maintaining surveillance, not just traffic, not just the people of the state. Nobody's escaping, and so this is just the immediate surrounding environment, and they are ripe for prosecution as well. This is a statewide system, and that's why the unnatural environment surrounds me, because everyone in that environment is engaging in a massive system of surveillance. And it's a grand departure from any sun being over Alvarado Gardens at the same time for the duration of the day, where at 4:49 p.m. the entity is keeping the fake sun over Alvarado Gardens. It's not over some hotel in now that I am in, I believe this is Monrovia. The entity is keeping a fake sun, as I'm showing you, well after 4:37 p.m. This is where the fake sun is piercing through my blinds in an upward trajectory. Not only is that not sunlight, but it's certainly not going to occur when the entity is keeping a fake sun where I'm here in Monrovia. All right, this is what the entity was doing on a daily basis. There is no sun that's over Monrovia, over Town Place Suites by Marriott, when I'm showing it over my head and remaining for the duration of the day, at what is Alvarado Gardens, seeing it through the windshield. This is Marie Ennis's vehicle in the parking lot. This is where the entity kept a fake sun all day long, 11:30 in the morning. During the 11 o'clock hour today, July 22nd, you have the light source that's over my head. This is a grand departure. There's no shared environment where I'm showing you the light source that's remaining over me now in Monrovia, California, where demons are engaging in the method of amplified audible activity while they know what I'm doing online. That's Title 18 criminal conduct, an independent basis for federal prison, by the way. And the demons that are patrolling as a means, thousands and thousands of people are keeping me under surveillance. There are those specifically by name, and there are ways to get that, the large pockets that surround. the hotels, the banks, the businesses, you're going to drain their pockets. They're going to be prosecuted because they're engaged in criminal conduct with the state. The entity engaged in criminal summoning several times today, 3 times in total thus far. In the specific environment, it's nothing but the P.O.C. And they're doing so in a private space. And it's going to be on the coming out of the wallet of one of many Town Place Suites by Marriott. All right, so this ongoing harassment by a demon-possessed entity in a specific environment where there is no occasion where the sun's ever going to be over the Marriott in Monrovia, where it's remaining over me, as I documented on an ongoing basis. And I did my due diligence for this very purpose. This is the significance of that which is already on the record, which is the entity maintaining a light source over me and on this day in 2022, including that. Okay, so there's no sun that's going to be over Monrovia. Okay, I went to Target today. I went to the parking lot to document. I went to Chase Bank also in Monrovia, but the entity is keeping the fake sun over me when I am in an entirely different location. This is the same analysis, the same juxtaposition of crime scenes when I am speaking to the light source that's remaining over me as I'm traveling about, going to different venues, and you're looking at what's right over my head at Target in Monrovia. There it is right there. That is not shared with the being over my head at Alvarado Gardens. And that's how you know what the demon possessed are doing and the knowledge that they have while they do it, and the fact that they continue to do it, not only on the fact that I'm subject to it on this date, but the fact that while the demons listen to me expose and prosecute. This is speaking to the public safety concern, people. Psychopaths continuously engage in threatening your life and stalking you and sexually violating and offending you, and they know they're going to federal prison. Who does that that's in their right mind? Any normal person would depart from that, which is going to threaten their ability to, perhaps be free, because you're going to want to sit in court and have a defense and have a judge look at you like you're not a psychopath. That's what you're going to want on that day. But to date, that's the purpose of the P.O.C. Satan continues until the very end, until the date that they're raided, until the date that they are given notice about the fact that they're being arrested, that they're going to be charged, that their business is going to be noted as a terrorist in the U.S., that I'm going to civilly recover from them. Until then, the entity continues to do so to its own demise. That's revealing the mind state. Okay, it's called amplification. There's no normal or audible activity that's occurring outside of the P.O.C. And the demons do so with real-time knowledge of what I'm doing online. Okay, and this is also occurring with regard to what happened while I'm on the phone again with Spectrum, a third party. All right, I had about a 30-40 minute phone call. It's all public information. And Spectrum, again, a documented group stalker, group stalking under the fake sun at Alvarado Gardens, replete with the entity stalking in helicopter. That particular employee is going to federal prison. That's just sitting on the record. He's waiting to go to federal prison. And the entity that continues to engage in the P.O.C. does so to his demise. You are hurting your own criminal co-conspirators, and you can't deny that I don't know that. That's legally irrelevant. You're all engaged in the same pattern of conduct. You have a parade of minions who are marching to the beat of destruction, and they continue to do so while the evidence just accumulates against all of them at the same time. And that's just the reality of what is Satan being defeated. But Satan is a psychopath. And now, while that's animating people, I'm going to prosecute you criminally and civilly for that. Okay, so it is currently, again, 4:54 p.m. This is occurring at third-party facilitating venue, Town Place Suites and Marriott. Federal stalking on the venue of the internet, group stalking, relevant position, that is state surveillance, which I went outside to document the fake sun. You already know the evidence where the fake sun is present over me. The fake sun stays there all day long. And never is engineer light ever naturally occurring. The greater context is that engineer light is what covers everything everywhere. I just show you the vivid illustrations of where you see the pattern of the window appearing next to the window. Okay, that's engineer light, and so is everything else that's covering the ground. This is not the sun, and that's not sunlight. These are demons, and this is surveillance. And it's also occurring online. So it is currently, again, 4:55 p.m. This is documentation of what is harassment, sexual violence, and terrorism by an entity that's engaging in surveillance as one. It is inherently sexually violent. It's inherently terrorizing because you have the numerosity of the population, that is the state, that's engaging in terrorism together as one. And it is just as a public safety concern, just as a PSA for those that are witnessing what's going on in California, the prosecution of the state of California. Stay out of California if you can, because Satan owns the state. Satan has many people in a chokehold, spiritually speaking, and they're going to serve very severe consequences for what they have chosen to do. And you're witnessing how those that are of this condition, that have prominent positions, they're going to tumble. You're going to witness that. They're going to tumble and fall, and they're going to serve very severe consequences. And I mean the janitor cleaning the high school gym up to the chief of police or the mayor. I don't care, whoever it is, whoever these demons think they are, they're going to be met with justice indiscriminately. Indiscriminately. All right. It is currently, again, 4:56 p.m. This is P.O.C.